Hello and welcome to our webinar. I'd like to welcome our listeners around Australia. My name's Joe Tadaro, Advisor Education Analyst at North. Today, we'll be discussing the changes to minimum pension payments. So if you've joined us before, you'll know that you can ask questions at any time during our session. On the right-hand side menu on your screen, select the chat icon, and you can ask any questions you like throughout today's session. We'll endeavour to get back to you upon the conclusion of today's session. So if for any reason your audio drops out, please close your browser and reopen the session. If you're still having technical difficulties, this session, as always, will be recorded and then uploaded to North Online. So I'll just show you how to find that via North Online now. So let's jump on North Online. So on North Online, just across the top, we've got the support heading. We'll head down to training videos. We'll head there. And then you keep scrolling down. So we've got small snippets of information to help you learn. But if you keep going down, we've got our webinar recordings. And this is where this session will be uploaded. And you're able to view this detail at any time or refer a colleague if desired. I'd like to also take this opportunity to show you the news and announcements on North Online, still under the support tab across the top, down to news and announcements, because the most up-to-date information and key critical detail is uploaded on North Online under news and announcements. So not only things like pension changes, we've got end of financial year resources, upcoming webinars, so you can register for our webinar series, but we also have frozen funds and restrictive fund updates as well. So really critical information for this time of year. So let's get started with our session today. So with our agenda, we're looking firstly at support material that is available to you. And then we'll have an overview of the changes, so how it will affect your client accounts on North Online. Then we'll look at online navigation. So how do you update pension details on North Online? And how do you refresh the pension if desired? And then further to that, we'll talk about communications that have been issued out to clients and cut-off dates to keep you in the loop. And then we'll talk about, at this time of year, very important, the work test, meeting the work test and how you go about doing that. And we'll finish off today's session with reporting and monitoring at a practice level. So we're talking advisor reporting and event alert management. So let's get started. So we briefly mentioned support material that is available to you, and we looked at training videos, but we also have training resources. So training resources are step-by-step guides in which we've got step-by-steps on how to complete transactions on North Online. So a lot of handy hints within that documentation. So we'd encourage that you do visit that if you get a chance. Also available to you, you can contact the North Service Centre, of course, or our team at north_advisor_education@amp.com.au, and we can provide you with a comprehensive training plan for your practice if desired. So on North Online too, you notice there's a North chat icon, and you can chat with a friendly North Service Centre chat consultant at any time. Very knowledgeable, and you can work away while you're chatting with a North Service Centre consultant too. So now let's get stuck into the changes to impact your client pension accounts. So for many retirees, the significant losses in financial markets as a result of COVID-19 are having a negative effect on the account balances of their superannuation pension or annuities. So to assist retirees, the government has reduced the minimum annual pension payment required for pension accounts by a 50% reduction for the current and next financial year. So having a look at a couple of the minimums in our table as per below, we've got, for example, for those under 65 years of age, the default minimum drawdown or compulsory minimum that needs to be paid from a pension account within the financial year is at 4%. So applying that 50% discount, 50% reduction, it goes down to 2% for current and next financial year. So that being said, how does that apply to the accounts on North Online? So the changes, these are the following changes that have been applied to North Pension products, all of the products on the North platform. For new accounts after the 30th of March 2020, the new reduced rates will be applied to new accounts when the minimum pension is selected as the pension payment option. So that new rate will automatically be applied. You wouldn't need to do anything at all. For a full withdrawal, so when we fully redeem funds from an account, so either a full withdrawal or a full account transfer, so closing down the account, for the financial year, there needs to be a minimum pension payment as a pro rata basis for the period the account was opened. So what happens is there needs to be a prorated minimum pension payment taken. So if it hasn't actually occurred, then there'll be a catch-up payment, and that'll be made as a part of that withdrawal or account transfer process. So this catch-up payment now will actually utilize the new reduced minimum rates, and that is automatically applied. So for existing pension payments that were created before the 30th of March, what do you need to do? Well, existing client accounts have the minimum pension payment selected for the current financial year. They'll actually receive the same pension payment amount for the remainder of the financial year. So yourself in your practice or your client can reduce this to the new minimum if desired, but it is not an automatic change. So if desired, you need to go onto North Online, which we'll talk about in a few moments time how to go about that. So more to those changes for 2021, the new reduced rates, they actually automatically apply to any accounts that have the minimum selected as the pension payment option for the new financial year. So this reduction also applies to term allocated pension accounts, or TAP pension accounts, and that reduction is no less than 45% of the prescribed payment amount. But we'll talk about that in a couple of moments' time in depth. So moving for pensions, accounts that commence partway through 2019 and 20 or 2021 financial year, the 50% reduction will automatically apply. So if you want to amend those pension payments to take advantage of the reduced rates, you have to head on to North Online. Before we do that though, we're going to talk about term allocated pension accounts, as we spoke about that 45% reduction. So for them, there is a formula. We've got between 90 to 110% of the amount calculated on the 1st of July based on statutory formula. So under the new temporary rules for the current and next financial year, clients will be able to select between 45 and 110% of the prescribed payment amount. So currently, this is 90 to 110. So clients or advisors should actually email or write to us with requests to alter the payments for term allocated pension accounts, as it needs to be done manually, amended manually. It can't be done via North Online. It's not automated. So now let's talk about how you can apply these changes via North Online. So we're going to jump on North Online again, and we have a pension account. We're going to head under account details and then go into pension details there. So in the pension details, as you can see, there's been an update of the date with the date of commencement of the pension. So new information displayed, including the minimum pension. So if the account has been existing before the 30th of March, we'll automatically update this summary page to present the minimum pension. But we've actually got new information that has been added there, and that includes the pension received for this financial year so far. So you don't have to go into transactions and work out how much they've already received and compare it with the minimum. It automatically summarizes this for you within pension details. So if you scroll down on North Online, keep scrolling down, we come to the payment details. So within the payment details screen, you'll notice there's a new button that's there, and it's an apply reduced rate button. So that will summarize with the new minimum. If you do wish to refresh the pension to get it down to that 50% reduction, it will show you that reduced rate amount. So all you do is you would hit edit, select apply reduced rate, hit next to pre-submit documentation screen and submit the change. So what about if your client wants to continue receiving the existing pension payments? So what do you do? So for this current financial year, as we mentioned earlier, we haven't applied the new reduced minimum pension rates to the payment amount for existing pension accounts that have the minimum selected for this current financial year. So to continue receiving the existing pension payments, you don't have to do anything at all, and they'll be paid right up until the end of the financial year. However, for the new financial year, and we spoke about this briefly, the new reduced rates will apply at the start of that year. So if you got the minimum selected as the pension payment, then the client will receive the new minimum. If you don't want that to apply, then you need to select specified amount and enter the exact amount in which the client would receive a pension payment. So nominating that dollar amount to be paid. This specific amount though, it won't be changed at the start of the financial year. So you can go in there now if you want to do that for your clients for the new financial year, if desired. So further to that, to help you guys out in your practice, because you might have a number of clients, we want to do the best we can to assist you guys out there. So what we've done is we've developed an automated solution to ensure clients who want to retain their current payment amount can do so. So what have we done? We've emailed all of our clients who had set the minimum pension payment to the old minimum pension payment and have not yet elected to reduce it to the 50% reduction. So we send an email to their registered email address on file to ask for consent to continue receiving the same amount for the new financial year. So that would mean that you wouldn't need to do anything. So this means moving the minimum pension payment to a specified amount equal to their current minimum pension payment amount. So we've done this as an automatic process, so there'll be no disruption to their payment amount when the new financial year starts. So how we've done it, we sent them an email, and this is the email that we have sent them as an example. So we are only able to offer this service to clients who have an email address registered at North and an up-to-date email address. And this is another example of why you should always, if possible, keep your client details on North Online as up to date as you can, including their contact telephone number, like a mobile number, and also their registered email address for circumstances like this. So let's move on to some cutoff dates around the end of financial year. So pension payment key dates. What are the key dates? Of course, Tuesday, the 30th of June is the end of financial year. Can you believe it's already come around again? So we'll be running, as we do every year, a catch-up pension payment. And this process is, of course, to ensure that our clients meet their annual minimum pension payment requirement for the current financial year. So what happens when we click over to the new financial year? Happy new financial year. The pension payment's due on the 1st of July 2020. So for that first day, the Wednesday, clients who hold pensions must receive minimum income payments every financial year, of course, based upon their age and account value. That minimum amount is recalculated on the first day of the financial year. And that uses subsequent years using your client's age and account value on that date. And this maintenance is to ensure that your client's accounts correctly reviewed and the pension payments are correctly recalculated for the new financial year. So along with that, we produce a Centrelink schedule, and that Centrelink schedule is uploaded to North Online in your client's statements and correspondence, and we do that from Thursday, the 2nd of July. So we've talked a lot about pensions. Let's move on to work test eligibility, always valid at this time of year. And so all members over 65 years of age are required to satisfy work test requirements in order to make voluntary contributions into their super account. And this eligibility must be satisfied at the time of making a contribution. So work test eligibility for members must be updated via North Online once the members meet the eligibility criteria. So what is that? That is if they've been gainfully employed for 40 hours or more for 30 consecutive days within the financial year. There is an exemption that came in last year. With the exemption, it's a work test exemption where rules have been relaxed to allow members over 65 to make additional voluntary contributions into their super, even when they haven't met the work test, providing the following conditions have been met. And these are the conditions. So the work test, they've met the work test for the previous financial year and they have less than $300,000 total super balance, including super and pension, as of the 30th of June, the previous financial year, and have never availed the exemption previously and have not met the work test in the financial year in which the contributions are made. So there's work test exemptions. So when can you do it? You can update the client's eligibility via North Online once they have worked the required hours. Does that make sense? Member eligibility to contribute under the work test exemption rules can only be recorded by calling the North Service Centre. You're unable to do this via North Online as the exemption. So how do you do it? The work test eligibility and work test exemption eligibility can be recorded by any of these methods. You can update it via North Online. You can call the North Service Centre. Alternatively, you can email us at north@amp.com.au or send it by post, the usual methods, GPO box, of course. So please note that you're only able to call the North Service Centre, email us and post us if you're recording the work test exemption eligibility. So that's enough about pensions, spoken about pensions at length. Now let's talk about how do you manage this for reporting and monitoring at a practice level. So we'll jump back onto North Online again, under reporting across the top. I'm heading down to advisor reporting. So in that advisor reporting, you get a snapshot of all your client accounts within that practice, specific to the advisor, of course. So going in there under advisor reporting, we've got a pension report that is now available considering the changes to legislation. So you just got to select that within North Online here. So we'll select the drop down box and head into money in and money out. Under that tab, we've got pension details. So we'll select pension details, heading into that report. You're able to filter the report by product if desired, or you can change it by pension type if desired as well. You will just hit apply filters, and then the report will then pop up for you. So this is what the report will look like. So please note, it summarizes by account name and account details and product and account balance, cash account balance and pension type. And then you just scroll over the page. So you just keep scrolling across, and we've got new headings for you there. So we've got payment amount, the frequency, and the next payment date, all vital information, including the CIS minimum, maximum pension as well, and the pension setting. So really key criteria there for you guys to manage into the new financial year for your clients. So how do you get this information? You can either filter it or alternatively, you can download it to CSV if desired as well. So really great feature, new feature. With the work test on North Online, what you can do is you can utilize event access management, event alerts via access across the top on North Online, event alert management. And these alerts are issued to advisors' registered email addresses when a selected event takes place. So this is important to note that if you're an advisor out there and you subscribe to an event alert, then you will receive that email alert to your registered email address. If your support staff member within your office subscribes to event alert, they will receive that event alert to their registered email address, but you will also, as the advisor, receive that email alert as well. So if you do it just as you're an advisor and you subscribe to an email alert, only yourself would receive that email. So what do we have available? So under event alert summary, we've got work test eligibility. By opening that up, you can subscribe to a list of clients who will turn 65 in the next month and have not indicated their work test eligibility. You would just subscribe to that. So as we mentioned at the top of the show today, you're able to ask questions at any time, so please keep those questions coming, and we'll keep this webinar open for a couple of moments more to ensure you get your questions in. We'll endeavour to answer these as they come through, but if we can't, we'll get back to you within the next 24 to 48 hours, and we will collate all those questions in the coming days and email these out to you as well. So as we mentioned before, this webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded to North Online, so you can view that at any time and refer a colleague if desired. You can also, if we ask, register for new upcoming webinars. We do have a series coming up. We'd like to thank you very much for your attendance today. Please keep up to date with key information, critical information for end of financial year, pension payments, and frozen and restricted selling funds via North Online under news and announcements. Some real pivotal end of financial year information as it comes to hand. So thank you so much for your attendance today, and we hope that we've armed you with some information on pension payments and minimum pension payments for this time of year. We look forward to seeing you in our next webinar very soon. So from me, Joe Todaro at North, we hope to see you again soon. Take care.